Welcome to greencardguys.tv. You need to know this. Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? So if you're in a situation where you have a marriage case filed and you're about to have an interview, you want to watch all the way towards the end of the show, okay? We have many phone calls, consultations about marriage cases where they're about to have an interview or they already had it and they just got a notice of intent to deny or an RFE. Now, typically, if it's after the interview and you get a document, it's most likely going to be a notice of intent to deny. So you want to stay tuned all the way to the end. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even preventing it from happening in the first place. And I really encourage y'all to make sure that you don't put yourself in a situation. Most people think, oh, you mean this is like a civil kind of case. This is no big deal. I was able to file my own case, or I was able to hire a notario, a paralegal who doesn't work with the law office, what else do people call it? A consultant. Yeah, I get that, folks. I get it. The forms itself is easy. Your date of birth, of course. Even if you hire us, we're going to have to ask you for date of birth too anyway. Your addresses, we don't know that stuff. But people don't hire us for the forms, okay? Even lawyers get that confused. It just blows my mind, to be honest. But this is where it's important. This is where it really matters in helping you think outside the box, because we have countless strategy sessions, consultations, where sometimes it's too late to help because they didn't talk to a lawyer before. Now, I try not to give people a hard time, but if you're watching this show, even if it's later and after the show, please know this. Even if you're going to file a case fresh from the very beginning, you want to at least consult a lawyer. Now, yes, it will be rude. Trust me. I talk to a lot of immigration lawyers. It will be rude if you call in and say, how do I do this? How do I do that? We don't like that. Okay. To be honest, we really care about, at least for us, we love to share value. That's why I'm live on all these social media apps. It's kind of nuts, to be honest. I wouldn't have said this like a year ago, but we're all about, back before the pandemic, we're all about sharing, know your rights. So I realized I could do this virtually anyway. On all these apps, kind of crazy. But anyway, you want to take action, okay? Especially when there's a notice of intent to deny. So I share with you the last steps because you want to avoid it. Because if you're about to go to interview, because the topic today is the top marriage interviews, the don'ts that you need to know is that, well, I guess in this situation, the don't is you need to make sure you don't not prepare. So in the flip way, you need to prepare for your case. You need to talk to your spouse. I know everyone's busy with I don't know, during the pandemic and after it, we all seem to be working a little harder. I don't know. Is that why a lot of people quit their job? They want to chill out? Because I seem like I'm working a lot harder. And I try to maybe I'm wrong, but I try to get my team reduce the amount of work they have. Make it efficient for them. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So with that being said, with, the more increased demand for work, you might have less time to talk to your spouse, things like that. Maybe your spouse travels a lot for work or whatever the heck they're doing. They may call it work, but you're a little skeptical. You might want to check in on that, by the way. But as soon as you get the interview notice, you need to talk, okay? You need to prepare. And that is one major benefit of having a law firm like us at Ting Law Group, is that we prepare you for the interview. And this is what we do. We email you a series of videos that's already pre-recorded, okay? To be honest, it's not customized just for you. We don't use an AI bot to make it seem like it's for you. It's the real deal. These are proven videos that prepare you. We ask you, after you watch those series of videos, we ask you to self-schedule an appointment with our legal team. So because sure enough, there's always a couple things towards the end. Like people say like, oh, yeah, I watched the videos, John. No worries. I don't want to schedule an appointment with you. That's actually very nice of y'all, but I feel better. Our legal team feels better when you do still schedule a meeting with us so that we can confirm with you that you know exactly what you're doing at the interview, whether you have us at the interview or not. We just feel more comfortable going in. And here's why. I give you an example, okay, which goes to the topic of the day. Top marriage interview don'ts that you need to know, and is don't lie, okay? Don't lie. That might sound obvious, okay, but I'll give you an example. As a client, kind of two tips in one with the same story. A client in the past, it's okay for me to share because I'm not going into details like confidential names and things like that. Whew, but is they, the good thing is they told the truth. Okay, they told the truth. Turns out the truth is what the client did not tell us, right? So that's the other tip. Talk to your lawyer, okay? Talk to your lawyer. Okay, well, that's interesting. Swiping through this TikTok thing. By the way, if you get value from any of this information, please hit the hearts, the likes, and if you're on, give us a follow on any of these channels, okay? And TikTok, click the plus sign. All right, greatly appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe down below if you're just watching for the first time. We share a lot of jam-packed value. You might even get a little confused, to be honest, because I just share a lot. But here's the deal. You want to prepare. If there's something that's skeptical, you think could be skeptical in your own mind, then you might want to share that with your spouse and your lawyer. Okay? Some people don't share. I don't know why. But the more the information we have, then the better. Will we have stopped that situation? No, we wouldn't have stopped it, but we would be prepared to file for a waiver, for example. Okay? And that scenario that I was thinking of, the client had left the United States and then came back shortly thereafter. I think it was only for a couple of days, but it's very important for us to know. And they were eligible for a waiver, fortunately, but we need to take action because in a situation like that, after the interview, USCIS will only give you 30 days to file that waiver. And if any immigration lawyer is watching this, or you have experience with preparing waiver cases, filing for yourself, it's going to take more than 30 days, usually, okay? Usually our clients need more time to prepare for the waiver. It's including your own letter that you're going to sign, talking about hardship. It doesn't have to be hardship in the moment, presenting right now. It could be speculation for the future. I know it's weird. They want us to speculate, but hey, they count it, of course, with possible proof of it. Now, there's all this information here. It dials it back to the topic of the day: top marriage tips, top marriage interview tips, so that you can avoid doing it. Okay, that you don't want to do. Okay, you don't want to lie. You don't want to not talk to your lawyer. And you don't want to not prepare. I know those are all double negatives. So you need to prepare. You need to talk to your lawyer, and you need to tell the truth. Okay. Again, these all may seem obvious, but we have so many consultations where people don't do this. And when you don't do that, it's going to result likely in annoyed, or hopefully an annoyed. Okay. Hopefully a notice of intent to deny and not a straight denial. Okay. Hopefully they give you a chance. And when they do send you the NOID, the NOID, you have exactly 30 days to respond. And when I say respond, it is to mail back the response, okay? In our team, we set up deadlines, internal deadlines, so that we don't wait to the day before, because you never know. Even though in this situation, we would use FedEx overnight, with a pandemic and post-pandemic, you just don't know. It's not just U.S. Post Office, FedEx, UPS. They all have issues too. I mean, you're mailing something across the country most likely. So I mean, it's just impressive if they could get there overnight. But I just wouldn't take that chance. I would try to. We in our internal system, we set up a deadline a week before to try to file it within that time frame before the deadline. We just don't want to mess around with that deadline, because if for some reason they consider your response untimely, guess what? They're going to deny your case. Okay. If you're in a situation like this or have been, hit the hearts and the likes so I understand. I'm sharing real time scenarios here. We have many calls about this kind of scenario where, you know, um, if they didn't prepare with their spouse, hey, you're going in, y'all are telling the truth. You know that you're telling the truth, but you might not remember when your first date was. And this question is not asked of everyone. I know it's weird. When we prepare our clients, we have a PDF of over 100 marriage related type questions. It's ridiculous, but we prepare you just in case. Okay, just in case. They ask questions like, what was your, how many TVs do you have in your house or where you live? Things like that. All right. So that's kind of ridiculous. Or they ask something really even more ridiculous. How many windows do you have in your home? And you're thinking, well, what consists of a window? Is it the top and bottom frame? I don't know. Like, no one knows how many freaking window frames you have, right? I mean, why that'd be ridiculous, but they could ask something ridiculous like that. So if you get what I'm saying, you need to prepare, because a lot of people, even our own clients at the beginning, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to tell, would you like to schedule a meeting with us? No, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, we really encourage you to schedule a meeting with us. It's very important. And look, I mean, the 2023 trend is for USCIS to approve, or at least give a decision on cases without interview. Now, look, if they're going to make a decision without interview, they would just approve it. Because if they think they might deny it, they're going to schedule you for interview. Now, I'm not going to say default that that's what they're thinking just because you get an interview, but so don't freak out about that. But you do want to prepare for it, okay? And that's not to say, hey, spouse, I just want to make sure you're telling the truth. Of course you're going to tell the truth. I mean, I would hope so. But it's just to cover the bases on these, if anything, the basic questions. Hey, just want to make sure, hey, you remember, we started dating like 5 years ago. Do you remember where we went to first date? They asked that. And look, at the end of the day, you might have a pretty good idea, but other than it being the first date, you might not remember it because, I hate to say it, no offense to any of these restaurants, but if it's like Cheddar's or Chili restaurant, you might not remember. First of all, they're supposed to start with C. I don't know. Maybe y'all are a fan of one of those restaurants, but if I could say, they're probably fairly similar American type food. You're not going to remember the difference, right? So you might forget. One spouse might say Cheddar's, one spouse might say Chili's. I was about to say spice. Anyway, so I know it sounds silly, but you might want to consider that. Okay, check that out. To really think about preparing with each other. It's very, very important. Okay, to some questions. VV, you said, hey, you forgot to notify USCIS about your address change a year ago. Are you in trouble? I wouldn't say you're in trouble, but hopefully you've been checking your case status online, but you want to file it now, and you can do it online. It's AR11. I think it's AR11 for USCIS. Yeah. So, or you could just type in Google search change of address USCIS, and you can do that online. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. If you have any other questions, you guys are a bit shy today. Okay. So if you guys are just joining for the first time, welcome. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. Consider it like a mini strategy session. Of course, it's no cost to you, but please keep in mind it's not free for everyone. Our CARES team, when you first call in or you go to our website, greencardguys.com, answer a few questions, our CARES team specialist will call you, hopefully within 24 hours. They really try their best, but they could get slammed. It just depends on the day when they have more capacity. But it's not automatic for everyone, because some scenarios where, we could just email you a free guide that contains answers to common questions and a step-by-step. or maybe it's a type of case where we don't normally assist with, right? We really try our best to be very specific in the offerings, what we help with, and otherwise we refer out for those kind of cases. Now, for example, like a tourist visa, we don't help with that unless you provide your resources, the links, but unless you're applying for like a green card at the same time, or nearly at the same time, then anyways, we package it together. So let's see here. And that's our way to be able to file cases timely, right? If we're doing all these different types of immigration, there's so many different types of applications. If we're doing all of them, that's doing a disservice to my team for the workflow purposes, and also to the clients, because we're very specific in our timing with the 3 different service plans. We call it light, pro, or max. Okay, max, we file your case in 30 days if it's family based. If it's employment based, it's 45 days. And pro is 60. And of course, we have this question quite often. People ask, John, well, if I pick pro plan, let's say 60 days, are you going to wait literally to the 60 day and file my case? No, don't get me wrong. If you have everything we need, let's say in 40 days, we just need at least 2 days to review your case for quality control, conduct our due diligence to make sure everything's correct. And yes, we might ask you for more information, so please don't get frustrated. But if everything's good to go, we're going to file your case as soon as possible. We're not going to wait all the way to 60 days. So hopefully that gives you an idea. But really, it's provides you a better expectation on when we're going to file your case, okay? Because we definitely don't want to overpromise and create a capacity issue with the team. Let's see here. So I try to be mindful about that. Any questions? You're welcome to drop in a question or comment in the comment section, or share your experience. If you enjoyed, appreciate our value in the information we share, whether it's today or a prior video, please go to reviewtinglaw.com or smash the hearts and likes. Okay, apparently it does something for the algorithm. I have no idea. That's above my pay grade. Let's see here. But yeah, again, if you're just joining, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. See if we can help you out, point you in the right direction. And there's no pressure to hire us. We're all about sharing knowledge, just like here on the show. But some of y'all are a bit shy, and that's okay. So that's why it's good to give us a call, speak to our CARES team specialist, or just answer a few questions on our website. You can go to greencardguys.com. We really try to keep it easy. But if you don't remember that one, freevisaquiz.com. Very, very easy. Okay, we're all about helping y'all get to the next step, because a lot of people are stuck. Don't feel like you're stuck. Now, a common example where people are stuck is with maybe you already filed your case with USCIS. And let's say it's been 2 years or something. It's been a long time. And you're kind of thinking, well, I don't know if it's a long time, but this is what we do. We can evaluate it for you. So you give us a call or answer a few questions on a form. We can evaluate if it's right to file a lawsuit. Is it the right time? Is it reasonable to file a lawsuit? Many people, we actually tell them, no, you're a little bit anxious. I get it, but we can't file a lawsuit right now. It's not a good idea. Of course you could file a lawsuit, but is a U.S. attorney going to be reasonable back to us and try to give you what we need? It depends on the scenario. It depends on timing. It depends on the case type. Okay. It depends if you're in the United States or outside the United States. All right. Many different scenarios that we're happy to walk you through. Now, another common question we have is, if I sue the government, will my case be denied? Now, if we're talking about someone who is abroad, consular processing, most likely your case shows visa refused anyway. Visa refused does not necessarily mean denied, but look, you're already at the last stage of it anyway. So, of course, depends on timing, because there's almost 500,000 people waiting outside the United States just for the interview. It's ridiculous. But there are people who applied for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen, and they've been waiting maybe like 2 years after the interview. But even if you're waiting 2 years for the interview, that's also a long time. It's pretty ridiculous. But the USCIS policy manual actually says that you can file a lawsuit in 120 days after the interview and you don't get a decision, they actually invite us to sue the government. Okay, sue them, USCIS. All right, so take action. Don't feel like your case is stuck, or I mean, it is stuck. Don't feel like your case can't get unstuck out of the black hole, I call it, or like swamp. Unfortunately, let's see here. I have some questions. All right. Welcome to ask a question on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Oh my God, four different social media. My goodness. Which, by the way, folks, if you are on TikTok by any chance, give us a follow. Green Card Guys _John. There's our handle. Alrighty. I do see some questions. Let me get to that. Alrighty. All right, NS, you are asking about the medical exam, right? Okay, slightly different question today. You want to try to expedite your 765. Will this affect your 485 processing? No, it does not. We have been able to get 765 expedite request approved. Typically, a job loss, something like that, can be helpful, some kind of proof of that. Now, when you request the expedite request at the very beginning, which, by the way, folks, hot tip here, you can try to do that via the website chat on the USCIS.gov website. They call the website chat person Emma, but it's actually a real life person. I can tell behind. So you can try that way. So they're not going to ask for proof in that moment, or even if you call in, they're not going to ask for proof in that moment. But they could ask. They'll tell you something like, "Please give us like there's 7 days or 30 days," and they'll let you know if they need more evidence. Okay, so make sure they have your proper email address or your accurate one. All right, so NS, hope you're doing well. Thank you. Happy to help. Makan, you asked about what happened if Biden win in Supreme Court about prosecutorial discretion matter. That would be great. I haven't been checking the news the past 2 days, so when I get a moment, I'll definitely check. But I do expect the Supreme Court to issue a decision. I mean, they're supposed to about anything they heard in the past term. They should be issuing it this month. Okay, typically like in the first couple of weeks of the month. So that should be coming soon. We'll update y'all for sure. Thank you for asking. Okay, NS, you say filed a service request, but it's been 60 days since USCIS received your medical RFE and you updated on the portal. Okay, the portal says they received the medical or they received something. That's good. Yeah, I mean, we have some clients. I know in the past I've said that when we sent in the medical, they've been approved like the same day or next day. But now I recall at least one client where it's out of Houston. They're still waiting, and I believe we mailed it in April. Okay, no, it was May, early May. So it's been 1 month, 30 days or so. So that kind of give you an idea. Let's see. But yeah, in the meantime, you might want to try to expedite that 765. Why? Your comment is about the Dignity Act. Okay, is led by the person that proposed it last year. I can go through it fairly quickly, but I will make a video about it. I just haven't had a moment. It's been honestly since 2020 since I focused on reform type proposals. To be honest, I kind of stopped that because there's always proposals out there for better or worse on the Republican side or Democrat side. But I typically don't comment on it unless there's pretty good traction on it. So I know there's some other lawyers out there talking about it, but I don't like talking about it unless there's some traction, really, because it can mislead people, of course. So I definitely don't want to do that to anyone. But yeah, let's pull it up. Let's see if I can find it on the House side, on the Congress website, congress.gov. I think. Okay, Escobar. Let me go to the website. Christian Candia, in the meantime, anything on a proposed fee increase? Unfortunately, no, nothing yet, as far as I know. But I did talk about this yesterday, I believe, but no update on that. It would be good to know exactly when they're going to like put it effective, but but they haven't mentioned. But if you're asking about this, it sounds like you could be eligible to file. So that's what I was talking about yesterday. Don't, if you're eligible now to file, don't wait. And I get it. Maybe you're not eligible. Maybe you have residency, but you're almost at the point where you're eligible to file for N400. I get it in that situation. But most people, when they call us, y'all are sitting on your hands. You could have filed your application a while ago. And especially when there's a deadline involved, don't wait. Okay. I was just looking at the USCIS webpage about their new section. I don't see anything about fee increase that's going to take effect yet, but could be soon because the comment period for Federal Register already went and passed. It's closed. So at any point they could make it effective if they wanted to. I think they're trying to hold off as long as possible, but I would think that they could happen soon. Okay. So, but some high level things. Okay. On YouTube, why you asked this question, or your name is why on YouTube. The thing is, it's really about border security. That's number one. Okay. The other pillar, the other one, of course, is about some kind of, they call it dignity, some nonsense called dignity, legal status, to give people dignity. Sure, whatever the heck you want to call it, that's fine. It's for 7 years. You got to pay, whether you want to call it a hefty fee or not. The proposed Republican and Democrats bipartisan $5,000 for this legal status. You got to pay to get your way in. Makes sense, to be honest. They already charge us for tax. So there's going to be another part for people who are agricultural workers, which those folks in the Republican states, you would think they'd be down for this. So pathways of citizenship. It includes for people, they call it dreamers. Yeah, that's the obvious one everyone knows about. They call it keeping families together. This is a proposal, an American original one, I think from a couple years ago, American Families United Act. The redemption program, which is that 7-year dignity program, and military service. Okay, you could go, looks like you could maybe go straight to, after being a dignity recipient, then apply to become a citizen. Okay, then you have reform for asylum, meaning having specific processing centers in other countries in Latin America. This is interesting. They call it humanitarian campuses to conduct the screening process. So that's good. Additional money for asylum officers. So on and on. They mentioned about E-Verify. That looks like only on the federal level. Thank God. So anyone that lives in Florida, let me know what you think about Florida, but it's pretty ridiculous. Okay. They're also putting okay, that's good. Raising the visa restriction. Some people call it a cap, quota, raising it from 7% to 15%. It says under current law, no country can receive more than 7% of the total number of employment-based or family-based visas. So, for example, a lot of people from India and China have applied for something called like EB2, EB3, and there's a limitation, or even EB1, but most commonly have a more delay on EB2 and EB3 based on a company sponsorship. And way more people apply from there. So could you call it unfair? If they're trying to be fair originally in 1990 when they set this law in place. But there are some problems for sure. Like if you're on H-1B and your kid ages out, okay, becomes over 21, which if they're here because of you, right? They're here with legal, they're not going to have legal status. So that's why it's having to apply for F1 and have them go through the H-1B. But maybe they don't, maybe they're not able to get lucky in the registration, H-1B registration. So anyway, there's also like another program here for guest visa and worker visa. But why, you're probably asking, you're probably asking me what I think about it. Well, yeah, that is a question. Actually, what do I think about it? I like it in general. It seems to cover all the high points for probably the left and the right side. Okay, Republicans and conservatives. Is it going to be perfect for anyone? That's never going to be perfect, even for foreign nationals, immigrants, unfortunately. Let's see. But yeah, the situation in Florida is ridiculous. You live there, Sylvia. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I think on July 1st is going to start e-verify on a state level in Florida, which one good thing out of it is that it's set it for 25 employees or more. So I'm not an employment lawyer, but if I were thinking, I don't want to call it loophole, but hey, all these companies, especially if they're a smaller business, they might start creating multiple entities, and each entity would have 24 or less employees. If Florida wants to do it that way, there's ways around it. It sounds like. I'm not a lawyer in Florida, so I don't know for sure. I did not read the full bill, but that's just my quick thought. Okay. I'm not telling you what to do, just brainstorming here. Okay. Silva, your question is, and I'll get to you back, NS. Your question is, good afternoon. Your daughter and yourself filed for your husband. Oh, or your husband filed for you and your daughter. Okay. Your I-130 and 45 approved. Great. 1 month ago. But your daughter's case is still processing, hasn't gotten hers yet. I know that happens. It's weird, but that different family members won't get the case approval notice at the same time. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but most likely she will be approved. Okay. It's just a matter of time. And unfortunately, there's no timetable, but see if you can submit an inquiry if it's been another month. Okay. It could be one of those situations, Sylvia, that unfortunately, USCIS officer, I don't know how they would do this, but it can happen. They claim it's happened to my client like 5+ years ago. Oh, what they told me back when it was President Obama, we had direct email access to the field office, the local office. They still we couldn't email anytime we could, just depending on timing, but they don't have that anymore, unfortunately. And they said, oh, your client's file was stuck in another person's file with the same name, same country, nationality, and same date of birth. I was like, holy hell. Like, are you serious here? Like, is that really possible? So basically they're trying to tell me, look, I lost your client's file. We got it back. We found it. Like, look, I don't need excuses. I just need to know. Just like clients, right? We go straight to the point. We tell people what the situation is. That's what I wish USCIS would do. Like, look, I just misplaced your client's file. My bad. Not like we could sue them in that situation. They might as well just tell us the truth. So anyways, I don't imagine that be the your situation, but in general, I'm just sharing that to demonstrate to you that USCIS is not efficient. They're not organized, and they certainly don't have a good system database. All right, and that's back to you. For sending in evidence for expedite requests like a job offer, would this be sent via email if USCIS gets in touch with you? So actually, they would email you with the fax number. Okay, I know it's strange. It's strange because I think they want fax because they want to see it real life coming into their system, like old school way of fax. I know it's bizarre, but it sounds like there's one specific office that reviews it. Just it blows my mind. But yeah, they fax actually, and I don't believe it would be a job offer. We're talking about job loss. So if you would write a letter, or maybe your HR from before, the prior company, prior employer maybe wrote like hate to say it this way, but like a end date or termination date, your last day, that could be helpful. Or maybe there's reasons to get a job. Maybe you have a I know this is a sensitive topic, but if you have a baby coming or other reasons for having, more expenses to pay off, then hopefully that can help too. Okay. Just saying you have a house remodel, probably not exactly going to be used for expedite, but you never know, I guess. Hey, Omar, nice to see you. Again, if you're on TikTok, Instagram, or any of these channels, you're welcome to comment down below. Happy to answer any questions or share your experience. I think it's great when people share experiences here. Omar, your question is, what do you have to do right now because you're still waiting too long? You know your situation. What I think you're in Turkey, right? Ankara, Turkey. I know I have crazy memory. So thank you for coming on live with us. Okay, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. because going live almost every day is tiring, to be honest. He said, what action you got to do now? Explain to me what. All right, Omar. So you got to, I don't know if you've done this already, but you have to answer a couple questions. Okay. Go to the website, greencardguys.com, click on the contact us page, or just go to the one above, answer that. And our team can evaluate your situation to see if it's the right time to sue the government. I think when we talked last time, when we commented, it might not have been, but I get a lot of questions. So I can't remember exactly the timing for your case. I think you were DQ'd at least already. Hopefully you were documentarily qualified. You're welcome, Y. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. You're welcome, Sylvia. Appreciate it. By the way, this is a good time for me to ask if you received any value from these live shows or in the past. Please go to reviewteamlaw.com, share your experience. And of course, especially if you're ready to talk to one of our CARES team specialists, we're always trying to improve our services, even if you didn't hire. Okay. We want to treat everyone with respect. Even if you're rude to us, we've had a couple people in the past year be rude, and let me give you an example, to be honest. Like, we're busy. I'm on live show. I'm in meetings, other attorneys in meetings. We have our schedules booked, usually like booked up to 2 weeks. If something opens up, we'll get you filled in. All right. But into an appointment. But for the most part, we're fairly booked for at least 2 weeks. I think a lot of lawyers are, honestly. But the best thing to do to make sure you get a spot on our calendar is going to the website. Okay. We do offer, after you fill out the form on our website, it's just a couple questions. After you fill it out, it does give you access to self-schedule. We do have some spots open just for those who watch us here on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. Is that all? TikTok for y'all. So it's not wide open, but hey, just like I was saying earlier, pandemic, there's been a lot of work to do. It's tiring, right? It's tiring. But what I train my team is about the mission. It keeps us moving, keeps us motivated to help you live and work in America legally. Despite what Republicans and conservatives want to say, we're actually trying to help y'all get status legally and get you unstuck. Okay. Get you keep going. And of course, we'll tell you, we're upfront, not like these other people will say, oh, well, we can help you, but they don't exactly tell you how. We tell you exactly how you're going to get legal status. And we'll tell you any of the red flags that you want to avoid. All right. Especially in terms of evidence. All righty. So, I realized I've been talking for 37 minutes. Oh my God. I appreciate it. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I will be on live tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye-bye.